Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of One on One Show. Before I introduce our next guest, gusto ko lang first of all magpasalamat sa lahat ng nakikinig ng One on One Show. I see you guys tagging me on social media and I still want to encourage you guys to keep on doing that. At bilang pasalamat ko sa inyo na ginagawa niyo, nakikinig kayo ng episode at sineshare ninyo, gusto ko kayong bigyan ng something in return. So if you do that, if you share this episode and your favorite line of the episode, you will get a chance to win freebies from my business, Fit Crew. We will just get in touch with you kung kayo ang napili naming manalo dito sa maliit na contest na ito. Subukan natin. Game! Anyway, moving on. So, punta naman tayo dito sa episode number 6 of One on One Show. Guys, I'm sure you've seen the posters. Brother Bo Sanchez is a widely known Filipino author, entrepreneur just like me, Catholic lay preacher, motivational speaker, and minister. I'm very much excited to have him on. Marami kayong pag-uusapan from business, from family, to faith. And nag-enjoy ako. This has to be one of the best episodes yet. So, I hope you guys like it also. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Bo Sanchez. So, welcome, Brother Bo, to One on One Show. Thank you for accepting the invite. It's such an honor for us to have you. How are you?
Good, good. It's my honor, my privilege to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm good. I'm very good. Life is busy, and that's good.
You have a very beautiful house. Diyan sa likod mo, kita mo may
Diba?
piano.
Grabe. At saka napapansin ko, lahat ng mga tao, parang ginaya nila yung bahay ko. Kaya pag
nga
nag-zoom sila, pag ganito, ibang platform, ay laging ganyan. Kaya ganyan talaga buhay, no? Ginagaya ka.
Ganda. Oo. Pag nakikita kasi syempre, nakikita natin sa social media mo, sa mga talks, and it's just so beautiful, ang inspiring tingnan. Well, anyway, Brother Bo, the podcast talks about business and family. We will tackle a lot of that throughout the conversation. Right now, ako sobrang curious talaga ako. Kasi as a business owner, hindi ko alam kung ano ba yung real state of our economy right now. I mean, obviously, it's not, ideal. Do we consider this moment a recession, do you think?
There is a global recession, Wancho. It's happening in the US, in China, in Europe. It's all over the world, so hindi lang sa Pilipinas. But the irony is, it's funny that sa Pilipinas, we're actually doing much better than the other countries. Hindi lang halata, no?
Why do you think that is?
No, it's just because we come from the bottom. So from the Philippines of where we are, so paakyat tayo. So yun. Pero sila kasi galing sa taas eh. So malaki yung binagsak nila. Parang in simple layman's language, yun ang explanation.
I see. Well, yung mga gas prices sobrang taas, I'm sure.
Sobra.
Kahit naman sino, apektado doon. And it's basically a domino effect throughout yun nga yung mga, syempre hindi rin masyadong tumataas yung labor natin, hindi rin masyadong tumataas yung other stuff na nagbe-benefit yung mga consumers.
Yes.
Do you think right now is a good time to invest?
Absolutely, Wancho. I've been teaching investing since 2000, mga ganyan, early 2000s. Teaching people how to invest. And tapos lagi yan ang tanong sa akin, Brother Bo, is today the right time to invest? May crisis, may gera, may pandemic, kung ano mga nangyayari. And I always tell them, the best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time to invest is today. And especially during a crisis. Kasi pag crisis, then you have lower prices of your wherever you want to invest in. And so it is really a great time. So actually, the least best time to invest is when everything is going rosy, tapos ang ganda-ganda ng economy. You can be sure that all the stock market and mutual funds, all of that is way up there. Medyo mahal. But I still tell people, no, you've got to still invest. Kasi Juancho, ang sikreto ng investing talaga is on a regular basis. You have to do it regularly. Hindi pwedeng one time, big time, tapos pag naisip mo, okay, mag-invest ako. No, it's something that you have to do regularly, whether it be, yun nga, every time you receive an income, so let's say monthly, usually monthly naman yung mga tinatanggap ng mga tao. And if you do it regularly, whether there's a crisis, whether there's no crisis, you still have to keep on doing it.
I ask this question a lot. Like, what does that mean specifically when you want to invest? Because syempre, ako as a husband and as a father, ang pinaka-immediate na concern ko is about yung monthly, tumataas ba yung pasok ng pera? Hindi kami nagde-dip in sa savings namin. You have to, think about these things eh. So what does that look like? How do you say kailangan kong mag-invest dito sa isang particular thing na to that would take care of probably some sort of cash flow spike or something?
That's right. People tell me, what should I do? What's the first thing I should do? And I would always tell them, look at the sources of income that you have. Sana more than one. Kasi karamihan ng mga Pinoy, isa lang talaga yung sweldo nila. That's it. And they're happy. And I tell them, no, you need to multiply that. Kailangan multiple sources of income. Yun ang ideal. Maski dalawa man lang. Yun ang pinaka, di ba? You start getting a salary, which is great. Tapos ilagay mo yung a part of your salary on a regular basis. My recommendation is 20% of your income every month is set aside mo. Tapos ilagay mo into an asset. Now, what asset would that be? There are many assets that you can buy. You can buy real estate, you can buy business. My recommendation as a start, as a basic form, would be mutual funds and the stock market, specifically individual stocks. That's what we teach. And we've seen great results. People who have been doing it for over the past decade, over more than a decade. Talagang nakikita nila yung growth. But they had to be faithful to it. They had to be disciplined in being able to do it on a regular basis. So, yun yung, tama yung sinabi mo na basic yan, di ba? Yung, ano kaya yung pasok, sana hindi nababawasan yung aking savings and all of that. Tama yan. So, what should you do? What should a person do? Look at their sources of income. Try to multiply it. Find other ways of earning. Sidelines. Yung tinatawag nilang gig economy ngayon. Hanap ka ng ibang paraan. Keep your day job. Don't resign. Keep your day job. Tapos instead of devoting your spare time to just entertainment, why not devote some of your spare time to earn money? So you've got multiple income streams, and then you've got to learn how to invest on a regular basis. Stock market, mutual funds, etc.
I was watching this documentary kasi ang dami natin time nung pandemic. May pinapanood akong documentary sa Netflix. I don't know if you watched that. I think it was called Money Explained. And it isn't a new thing na ngayon pa lang, na even in the 60s, 70s, way before everything na what we know now, ang daming taong that grab onto the opportunities of get rich now. Yung parang pyramid schemes, before they would run ads sa parang, di ba, sa TV, ang daming parang, if you do this, you'll get rich. Ganyan. Yung mga get rich quickly na concept, ang daming nag-hang on to that. And sobrang bilis. And even for us, the Philippines, a third world country, ang patok nun, yung ganong klaseng concept of you'd multiply your money in a snap. And ako as as a small business owner as well, I see kasi, like kunyari mag-invest ako ng say 300,000 for one food cart, I see how long it would take for me to be profitable. So
Yep.
I don't believe in yung get rich quickly. I don't know if you have any thoughts about it, and what are those thoughts?
Yeah, over the past 20 years of being a financial teacher as well as a preacher and missionary, talagang lumalapit ang mga tao sa akin pag may problema, no? And naku, so many people have approached me, asked for prayers, umiiyak kasi yung retirement money nila na ilagay nila sa isang scam. Ang daming scams. Araw-araw may bagong scam. Whether it be a scam that they found online, whether it be in their locality, in their city, in their town, may bagong organization doon that was promising 20% a month, 50% a month, 100% a month. Ay nako, it's unheard, it's irrational yung mga pangako ng mga sa kanila. Kaya lang these people, many of them, number one, of course, you have this hope, like, wow, the doble pera ko in a few months.
Yeah.
Okay to. Pero yun nga lack of financial education. Yung example mo, perfect. Ang ganda ng sinabi mo. As a business owner, you know how difficult it is to earn, a little percentage every month, to be able to get back your 300,000 pesos from a food cart. Matagal. Sobrang tagal. So how can this scammer promise me 20%, 50% in just a snap of a finger? Scam to. So if it's too good to be true, it is not true.
Most likely not true, no? Brother Bo, I saw also that you wrote a book called My Maid Invest in the Stock Market.
Yeah.
Para sa mga taong, say, mga minimum wage earners,
Yeah.
or, the regular working class, where nasa, say, 20 to 30,000 pesos yung income nila. How
Yeah.
do you tell them to invest in that, where
Yeah.
yung prices of lahat ng mga basic necessities are through the roof?
Yep. Mahirap. Sobrang hirap, There is a certain level, depending kung may pamilya, depending kung, may asawa, may anak, and all of that, then the answer will be different for that question. Halimbawa, I'll just give you a very specific example. So my house staff, they started investing. I taught them how to invest, no? So yung aking isang driver, and then 3 of our house staff, 3 of our helpers. And so they started doing that 12 years ago. And yung isa is able to, yung dalawa, they were able to do it, no? And faithfully, dalawang house staff namin. Yung driver ko, he's been able to do it, pero konti lang kasi may asawa at may 4 na anak. So magkaiba talaga And so my response to that is, you have to find a way to be able to increase your income, through side gigs, side hustles, side business, sell something on the side, so that you'll be able to increase your income. Kasi kung talagang marami kang expenses. Now, yung dalawang house staff ko, singles. So because they're single, they're able to put more into the stock market. So ang pangalan nila si Gina at si Weng. Si Gina already has 2 million pesos in the stock market. The second one, si Weng, has 1.5 million in the stock market. And it's a great story, di ba? Parang uy, pwede pala. After 12 years, they're able to do it. Yes, absolutely. And they're in their 30s and 40s. So by the time they reach 60 years old, through simple computation, I know that they will have between 15 to 20 million pesos. So pwede na, di ba? Pang retire.
Pwede na.
But then, yes, I totally agree with your point na kung minimum wage, talagang kulang na kulang. And that's true. So what do you need to do? Like my driver, konti lang na ilalagay niya sa stock market. So hanggang ngayon, maliit pa rin ang stock market niya. So what he needs to do, and he's trying to do it naman, sila mag-asawa, to find other ways. So the wife is nagtatahi, no? Kumukuha ng mga order sa bahay. So, yan, meron silang mga extra income na sinusubukan nila.
Yeah. And not to think about it as extra cash. Kasi ako, madalas kong problema yan. Kunyari, lalo na before, I would regularly invest in these little things, especially nung unang panahon na nung medyo mas mahirap pa kasi you'd go through an agent. Alala mo yung event natin, yung G-Invest.
Yeah.
And right now kasi it's a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot easier also to withdraw. So it's true, no? It's true na not to treat it as extra cash. So
Yes.
pag dumadating ba yung mga panahon na oh my gosh, kailangan ko ng pera, do you advise for it to be, withdrawn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, withdrawn. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a temptation. Tama ka.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And kaya importante, so I always teach people, always have an emergency fund na hindi kasama sa, let's say, mutual funds mo, sa stock market mo. Magkahiwala yan. So yung emergency fund mo nasa savings account or nasa time deposit or, kung medyo sophisticated yung tao, sige, ilagay mo sa bonds o sa, sa REITs. Pero kailangan yung hiwalay talaga yan. So pag may emergency, nasira yung kotse or nasira yung bahay o may nagkasakit, kailangan mo ng emergency fund. Huwag mo i-withdraw yung ininvest mo. Kailangan dito ka sa emergency fund kukuha. So ang amount ng emergency fund, siguro between 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses, or 3 to 6 months of your monthly income para mas madaling i-compute, yun ang itabi mo. At any time, diyan ka mag-withdraw.
I also heard na, kasi marami rin kasi ako pinapakinggan ng mga business podcast. So, the safest amount of savings that you should have is, I don't know if you have that kind of a figure also, pero parang 6 months of your income, you should have that for you to, if ever iisipin mo na I don't want to continue with this job, or you found another opportunity elsewhere, meron kang safety net na yung 6 months of your income to cover a couple of months of expenses, and hindi ka pressure na magkakaroon ka ng petsa de peligro na nagkakaroon yung karamihan ng tao. Is it the same? Is 6 months? 6 months in
Yeah. 6 months is a good average. I tell people na pag mas matanda ka na, let's say you're my age, Juancho, you're very young, we have a huge age gap. Pero let's say if people are my age, dapat hindi lang 6 months, dapat 12 months yan na nakatabi.
A year, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so may global phenomenon na nangyayari ngayon called the quiet quitting. How familiar are you on this concept right now?
Yeah, I was doing a corporate talk, ganito rin, online. Tapos open forum, so ang dami-daming tanong. May nagtanong tungkol dyan. I actually did not hear about it. It's like, talaga, wow, I'm learning something new. Ano ba yan? So tinanong ko, what is quiet quitting? So may mga nagsabi naman from the audience. So and then I was able to respond. But after that, I started researching. Wow, it's a big thing. It's a big thing pala. It's a phenomenon. Maybe because of because of the pandemic, it came about, quiet quitting. There's a good side and a bad side to it. So the bad side, I'm sorry, umpisa mo na lang tayo sa good side, yung sinasabi nilang, kasi work-life balance yan eh. So people want to have more work-life balance. So instead of giving their all to their job, yung minimum, no? And you don't have to aspire for promotion. Basta just do your job and do your job well naman, no? Do your job well. Kaya lang, hanggang dito ka lang para meron kang work-life balance. So that's the good side. The bad side is this, yung passive-aggressive behavior, yung tipong alam mo, ako I'll just do the bare minimum to the point na, I'll not excel, I'll not do, so Why? Kasi I just want to live my life, and nawawala yung passion sa buhay.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning saying, no, this job is just here. I'm really, just to put food on the table, and I'm basically it's being disengaged. And
Disengaged.
that is a problem for management. That's a problem for leaders in companies, no? Pag leader ka ng mga tao, tapos yung mga staff mo, yung team mo, walang passion sa kanilang trabaho. Nako, ang hirap niyan. And then you start thinking, how will I motivate them and all of
Yeah.
that. So yeah, that's the situation that some people are going through right now.
Yeah, in sa perspective ko, it's different. It's not all the same for most people. I was watching also this yun nga, when I was trying to watch and digest what quiet quitting was. I was listening to Matt Walsh, a conservative in the US, and sinasabi niya that only a small percentage of people would actually do something valuable for their time. Most of the people who are striving for quiet quitting just want to lay down on their phones and watch, TikTok or consume social media. Konti lang naman talaga yung would go out of their way to, climb a mountain, read a book, 'di ba? Invest in something, invest in yourself, personal growth. Pero more often than not, yun nga, parang nililimit nila yung sarili nila because this is, from based on the other videos that I saw, based on the amount of salary that they get. 'Di ba?
Yeah,
Pinipigilan na nila sarili nila because they know that I'm already doing the job of two or four people, but I'm getting paid for, just my salary. So
that's
pinipigilan
right.
na nila yung sarili nila, which is, I think, is very nawawala yung yung hustle culture,
Yeah,
yung just like what we continuously talked about nung start ng recording natin, yung having gigs on the side.
yeah,
Obviously, taking care of mental well-being is very, very important, lalo na nowadays. It's very, very important. Not to say that it isn't, but there should be a balance that you should know, not other people should know. And you should know when, yung limitations mo. And hindi dahil, sabi kasi sa TikTok, kailangan ko na tumigil ng 5 p.m. at ibibigay ko lang yung bare minimum ko. Pero in fact, kaya mo pa eh, 'di ba? Kaya mo pang mag-excel at alam mo 'yun. And that also indicates kung sino yung basically succeed. Kasi kung ikaw, kung management ka, syempre mas titingnan mo yung mga nagsa-strive as compared to the ones that, are just disengaged and doing the bare minimum. So there are a lot of perspectives to it that I also enjoy talking with other people, and yun nga, parang sobrang gusto ko ngang malaman yung side mo on it eh. So,
yeah,
quiet
yeah.
quitting. Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it, no? When you said that konti lang yung nag-i-invest sa kanilang personal growth, tapos karamihan talagang, they'll just go through social media, scroll their phone, and wala, bihira yung sinasabi mo na, teka muna, what skill can I learn? What book can I read? And all of that. That is basically what we're trying. I think I'm concerned about that. Na it's not so much how hard a person works. Let's say, sabihin niya, naku, gusto ko work-life balance. Tama naman yon. Ay, Brother Bo,
Mm.
gusto ko 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, tama na kasi I want to spend time with the family. Ay, okay na, okay yon. Pero ito yung tanong, what kind of attitude do you bring to your work? Ngayon, sasabihin nila as an objection, di ba? Brother Bo naman, pareho lang naman yung sweldo. Whether I do output 10 or output 5 or output 3, pareho lang naman yung sweldo. So, ba't ko pa mag-excel?
Yeah.
Diyan ka nagkakamali. It's not so much how much you receive in terms of finances that will be the reward of excelling or of giving your best. No, it's what you become. And that is something very important. Ang example ko dito, parang analogy ko analogy. I
Mm.
bike every day. So let's say I live in the South, Juancho. So from let's say the Parañaque area, Sucat area, I go all the way to Alabang, and then I go to Evia, Daang Hari. Tapos alam mong gagawin ko? U-turn. Babalik ako sa pinanggalingan ko. So, di ba funny? Funny yun na, ay, every morning yan ang ginagawa mo, wala kang pinupuntahan, umiikot ka lang. Diyan ka nagkakamali. Totoo, umiikot ako, parang wala akong pinuntahan because from my house, I go all the way to Evia, many, many kilometers, and then I go back. Wala ba akong pinuntahan? Wala. Pareho lang. Umikot lang ako. But, lumakas ako. Naging healthy ako. Na-develop ko muscles ko. My lung capacity. All of that. And that's what happens when you excel in your job. Totoo. Output 3, output 5, output 10. Parehong sweldo ang tinatanggap mo. But wait a minute. Ikaw gumagaling. You're leveling up your skill. You're leveling up your abilities. What will happen to you? Ay, nako. It's either you get promoted or other companies will start looking for you, because you're such a great worker. Or your skills are so good, you start your own business. Kasi ang galing-galing mo na. So, I always tell people who are employed, give it your best, excel, develop your craft, be the best, invest in yourself, read, watch videos that will help you, expand, be the best. And it's not for the salary, it's not for the money. You will be rewarded one day. Just keep on serving.
Brother Bo, I'll sidetrack a bit. And you mentioned kasi that you bike.
Yeah.
Marami akong mga followers sa social media na sobrang entertained sa mga videos ko with Joyce na nagpapaalam ako magbike sa asawa. Brother Bo, how do you do it? How do you ask permission? Is it, ano ang proseso mo? What goes through your mind? Kunyari, magbabike ako dito ngayong araw, or do you parang nakaset na schedule? What goes on? How do you do it?
Yeah. Maybe before I answer the question, what specific challenge do you have with that particular activity? Ano yung difficulty sa pagpayag? Ano yung concern? Ano yung concern pala?
No, it's actually just funny. Hindi naman ako sa hindi pinapayagan ni Joyce. Siyempre may pero siyempre when you're biking, you're doing it for yourself. And it's a schedule for yourself, diba? It's
right.
It's difficult. It's difficult to, ask permission kasi syempre kung ikaw may schedule ka na sa isip mo, baka yung wife mo wala pa at meron siyang ibang other schedule na iniisip niya na nakaset na yung di ba? Doon na nagkakaroon ng sort of conflict. Pero having said all that, generally kasi, di ba, when you get married, it's much more difficult to ask permission to do these things for yourself na and that just doesn't go for husbands. More often than not, also both ways naman. So having said that, yung pagbabike, Brother Bo, balik tayo dun. Paano ka nagpapaalam?
Ako'y tumatawa kasi, Juancho, that it's been my experience also. There are days, kasi I bike every day, So, and it's a long story how that came about and how my wife supports me on that. But there are days talaga na babangon na ako sa kama, sasabihin ng wife ko na, oy, dito ka na lang, wag ka na magbike, cuddle time na lang together. So may mga ganong klaseng umaga. And it's normal. In fact, that's the wife's expression of love, diba? Na she wants you to be there. But I also think that it's, we've been married for 24 years. So I support her me time and she supports my me time. So me time ko yun eh. When I bike, I would bike, for an hour. And then after biking for an hour, I will look for a place to park, a coffee shop, wherever. And then I read, write, magmuni-muni.
Yeah.
And then, so that it really helps me. You were talking about mental health. I really think it's amazing if you're able to win the morning, then you win the day. But yeah, it's been I would say that masaya na, we've talked about this a lot, my wife and I, na kailangan may me time siya, tsaka kailangan may me time ako para mas malakas yung marriage at mas happy kami. We're able to fill up our love tanks through our
Yeah,
me time, and of
definitely.
course through prayer, and then of course through our friends. Siya meron siyang
Yeah.
mga friends, time with them. Ako rin merong time with my friends. So when we go back home, puno yung love tank namin. We have love to give to one another. So I think because of that constant communication about that topic on having me time, we're able to support each other. Like for me, this will be my me time.
Yeah, yeah. Ganda nun. Actually, yeah, it's very very much easy to say, especially for yun nga yung newly married couples like me.
Yes.
Pero lalo na kapag syempre first few years of marriage may mga nights that aren't always, loving ka, and ang hirap na bigla kang kunyari hindi kayo masyadong okay nung gabi tapos may bike ka schedule
Yeah.
kinabukasan, hindi mo alam kung, gigising kasi ako ng 4 AM, itutuloy ko pa ba 'to? Hindi na.
Totoo
It's
yan. Totoo yan. Tsaka may baby kayo eh. So, mas
yeah.
talaga, mas challenging yan. As the years go by, you will realize, I mean, you will experience that na mas madali na ng konti.
Dumadali na, definitely dumadali na. 'Cause my son's walking na, and hindi na siya kasing hirap ng every 15 minutes, we have to be there watching him because he might,
Yes.
hurt himself. Ngayon kasi medyo nagkakaroon na siya ng independent play and all that. So it's beautiful, and pero hindi naman dumadali din yung role as a father, no. Humihirap pa nga actually kasi may marami ka ng bagay na kailangan i-explain sa kanya, and the world is filled with, evil spirits. And temptation. That's why kailangan talaga very important yung role as a father.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go back to quiet quitting. Hati eh, Brother Bo. I think it's very much right now yung perspective ng mga tao ay hati. Kung meron tayo makakausap ngayon that feels so strongly about quiet quitting, not the good one, the bad one na this is what I'm paid for. I'm gonna stick to this. Eto lang talaga ako because they don't recognize I've been trying to work hard my whole life, but they don't really recognize it. What is your advice to that one person?
Yeah. Ako, I would ask the person maybe a deeper question, not so much anymore about work. I will say, what's the meaning of life? Alam ko medyo malalim yun. So, but I'd ask, what's the meaning of life? Meron ka bang purpose sa buhay? Kasi if you're able to connect what you are doing to a purpose bigger than yourself, then you will see and discover again passion, joy for work. It's something kasi laging my job, what's the purpose of my job? It's to put food on the table. Yun lang. Sayang naman if, why are you working? Binabayaran ako. Yeah, that's right. But there's life could be happier if you're able to discover your biggest purpose in life. And again, it's beyond your own needs. Ang liit ng mundo ng isang tao pag para sa kanya lang, me, And again, I know it starts there. But at a certain point, yung baby natin, Juancho, I have 2 boys. when they were babies, they were narcissists. All babies are. They're very, very self-centered. They only think about themselves. Let's say the whole night, hindi nakatulog si mommy. Wala lang, because maybe of work or something. Will the baby care that mommy did not sleep? No. If the baby is hungry, if the baby is fuzzy, the baby will cry. It will not think about the other person. The baby will only think about me, me, me. Thanks be to God, the human being grows up. The human being becomes a toddler and a teenager and goes into their 20s and 30s. What happens? You realize na, ay, hindi lang pala ako ang tao. And then the human being begins to care for the mother, begins to care for the father, begins to care for kuya and ate. And so that's the normal trend. Kaya lang, may mga tao, lumaki na, tumanda na, hanggang ngayon, nagtatantrum pa rin, selfish pa rin, self-centered pa rin, which is sad. Because then you begin to work only for me, me, me. But if that point comes when they go through what philosophers will call a Copernican revolution. Copernicus, kasi si Copernicus yung nagsabi, ay, yung Earth, sorry hindi pala siya yung center of the universe. Yung sun ang center of the solar system. Tapos yung Earth ang umiikot. We need a Copernican revolution where we realize that life does not revolve around us. We actually revolve around God. And then, you begin to realize, yung purpose ko sa buhay, mag-serve ng ibang tao. And so when you become selfless, this is the irony of it all. Is when you begin to serve other people and become selfless. What happens is that you experience more joy. And so yun ang challenge ko sa mga nagka-quiet quitting. Tanungin lang sila, what's the purpose of life? Does life have a deeper meaning? And hopefully through a conversation like that, they might find a connection between their job and their bigger purpose in life.
Being a good steward of your time here on Earth is very much underrated. So that ends our quiet quitting conversation. Next question ko. I'm sure that you've heard this question so many times. It's not something that is surprising. Pero ang dami pa rin kasi na mga couples nowadays na sinasabi sa mga sarili nila na hindi muna ako magpapakasal dahil kailangan ko mag-ipon. Bigyan ka na ba ng advice with regards to what kind of ipon ba ang naiisip nila? Or ano ba talaga? When do you know? When do you know basically when you're ready to get married or to take the next step in life?
Yeah. I always tell couples who are thinking of marriage, you need to have 3 kinds of maturity. So there is the financial maturity, which is very obvious. And number 2, the emotional maturity and the spiritual maturity. So yung tatlong yan, importante. Punta tayo sa financial maturity. Yung ibang couples, parang feeling ko OA, or sorry for the term, no? Pero parang extreme. Mag-aasawa lang ako pag may bahay na ako. Wow! Yung talagang tagal nun na. Mag-aasawa ako pag meron na akong so much millions. Parang it's a nice goal to have, that you're going to own your house before you get married. It's too ideal when in fact pwede naman siguro i-lower lang ng konti. It's important, that's what I said, financial maturity. What is financial maturity? To have a house? I don't think so. I think financial maturity is, number 1, financial responsibility. Are both of you responsible for your own finances already? That's number 1. Number 2, financial literacy. Have you learned how to set aside a certain amount from your salaries every month? And are you able to invest it on a regular basis? Mas importante yun sa akin na it's not so much a certain amount of money. Malaking-malaki sa bank. No. look at your financial habits and see whether you have the habits to be able to grow your money over time. My wife and I, when we got married 24 years ago, ang liit ng pera ko. I was a missionary. Wala masyadong pera. But what we had together was, we had spiritual maturity, we had emotional maturity. Ibig sabihin, we're able to discuss whenever may mga problema. We knew how to fight in a good way. Tapos, financial maturity, kasi maski maliit na maliit lang yung sweldo ko, nang pagkakasyahin namin, tapos nag-i-invest na ako dahan-dahan. And tapos naghahanap na ako ng mga side gig, naghahanap na ako ng mga negosyo, and I think that's more important. So, ang ganda ng adventure namin na nag-rent muna kami sa isang apartment, 2,500 pesos per month, We stayed there in that apartment for 2 years. Tapos dahan-dahan, I was able to build my small business, and then of course, through many failures, finally. So, ang gandang kwento na we grew together, not only spiritually, not only emotionally, but also financially. We were yung adventure na yun na wala pa kaming bahay, apartment lang, but we were through the struggles, we were able to communicate, we were able to have a better marriage through the years.
Yeah, that's so true. Kami ni Joyce, we got married. Well, we got engaged after just a couple of months of dating. Whirlwind. It was a whirlwind relationship. And that's yun yung unang-una namin prioritize, yung spiritual maturity namin. And right now, based on what I've heard from you, you use the word maturity, financial maturity. Am I right? Tama, di ba?
Yep.
Financial maturity.
Yes.
Financial maturity, hindi financial freedom. Hindi financial.
Tama.
It's not a state. It's not a state. It's not a number. It's not a state. It's maturity. It's something that is inside you that you know how to do. It's like, being responsible enough to handle the small.
That's right.
The small or big amount that you have per month.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like nagiging cop out na rin kasi ng most people yung mag-iipon muna kami, because nowadays maraming nag-lean in na lang to, I can just live in with one person. And not only is that unbiblical, it's also di ba, maraming red flags doon. I've experienced it. Well, hindi yung nag-live in, pero I've experienced those red flags that I did not mind, and syempre it backfired, and a lot of things backfired. Kaya importante yung sinasabi mo, Brother Bo, yung spiritual maturity, because there is a way, di ba? There is a way to live life. And that's something that we should abide. And there is blessing in obedience.
That's right.
So, that's very much beautiful. And kami rin ni Joyce, we were challenged also nung pandemic. Marami kami pinagdadaanan ng mga challenges, but through the grace of God alone, di ba? We were able to work together because dalawa na kami married, and we're a stronger unit right now, I believe. So, yun lang yung anecdote ko tungkol dun sa...
Beautiful.
Thank you for sharing about that, Brother Bo. What else do we have? Okay, so as we close, I have a couple of random questions na lang for you. I'm sure you've met a lot of personalities in the Philippines, and celebrities, even yung mga mas seasoned actors or hosts or personalities. Out of everyone, who is your favorite personality that you've encountered, and why?
Yeah, you're right. I've met a number of them, and they're really wonderful, wonderful people. Ang daming mababait na tao. It's sometimes you can be so negative and say, "Ay, konti lang." No, no, I've seen so many good people. But there's one person that comes to mind, and the reason why it's so fresh is because I just talked to her the other day. Si Dimples Romana. I've known her for years kasi we invited her to speak.
Mhm.
Tapos ang ganda ng kwento niya. Tapos, she's somebody who's so good. We were talking about finances, di ba? She started when she was 19 years old in showbiz, and then she was the breadwinner. Tapos ang ganda ng kwento niya on how she grew her finances, and she was just driving a simple car. Tapos she would compare herself to other actors na pareho lang sila ng level, pero ang ganda ng kotse. Akin yung hindi masyadong maganda. Binibiro nga siya ng mga direktor, ng mga ibang cameramen, no? Sa sinasabi sa kanya, Dimple, saan yung biyahe mo? Cubao? Kasi yung kotse niya Revo eh. Yung talagang hindi talaga pang-artista. But because of that, she realized na matipid siya eh. Tapos nag-invest sa properties. Ngayon, ang dami na niyang property, sobra. Tapos may mga negosyo. So I was talking to her the other day and I was saying, Dimples, you're such a great example for celebrities because it's so easy for a celebrity to get caught up with an image na, uy,
Yeah.
artista ako. Dapat maganda kotse, maganda bahay. Dapat, my bag is 300,000 pesos level. Yung ganon, you can get caught up with that. She never did that. She said hindi. And it's amazing. So yun lang. First person that came to my mind when you asked that question was someone I spoke to just 2 days ago. Dimples Romana, great woman.
Galing. Okay, next question. What is your favorite province in the Philippines and why?
I've traveled so much in this beautiful, beautiful country of ours. And siguro dalawa. Yung isa, El Nido. My
Palawan.
wife and I celebrated our anniversary last year. And my gosh, it is so beautiful. Sobra. Coron, di ba? Magkalapit naman yan eh. Coron, El
Mhm.
Nido, just amazing. Ang ganda ng Pilipinas, no?
Ganda.
I've been to many other countries because of my work. Um, so many countries, pero parang when I go around the Philippines, parang we taas noo tayo, parang sobrang ganda ng Pilipinos. It is beautiful. And then of course, as simple as Baguio, enjoy na ako eh. Go to Camp John Hay and you say, yep, we have a beautiful country.
World class. Actually, I was watching, I don't know if you watched Money Heist.
No, but I've heard about it.
Okay, so Money Heist is this Spanish teleserye. And medyo nasa season 3 na ako eh. And they referenced Palawan. And they went to Palawan. I don't know if
Whoa.
they taped. Yeah, I don't know if they taped here. Pero
Woo.
they were saying na Palawan, I'm going to let's go to Palawan, and they started the heist in Palawan.
Galing.
So, pero syempre hindi ko alam kung Palawan ba talaga 'yun. Pero yun
Yeah.
nga, as the reference and all that to say is Palawan, your favorite, place in the Philippines is world class. It's
Yeah,
world
yeah.
class. Beautiful.
Absolutely. Our beaches are, I would go to the different beaches in other countries, pero I'd still go back to our beaches, whether that be Palawan or Boracay or Bohol or, it's just beautiful. Sobra.
Okay, Brother Bo, thank you so much for your time. I have one last question na
Yep.
nagkaroon lang ako ng idea while you were talking kanina. And this is something that a lot of people struggle with, especially in the Philippines. Yung pagiging breadwinner ng mga anak. Have you experienced people come up to you and say, how do I stop it? How do I stop my parents requiring me to help them out? and to continuously think that I have to work for them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's very, very difficult. And in fact, at a certain point, let's say pag depende yan sa situation, baka sobrang tanda na talaga ng parents. And no choice ka na. You know, at a certain point, di sila naghanda eh. So you'll really have to say, this is gonna be how I'm gonna love my mom and my dad. I'm gonna work extra hard. I'm gonna be hyper, you know, in terms of trying to grow in my financial literacy. I have to do something. And so you have to do double time. Kasi no choice na eh. Matatanda na sobra. Wala na sila magawa. You have to support them. So, and who knows? It might be the crisis that will make you wealthy. Because, you know, gagalingan mo eh. You know, mape-pressure ka eh. So I know of some people like that. It's, you know, they say necessity is the mother of all invention. And so let it push you to earn more and to be better in the area of money. Pero meron namang situation na hindi pa sila sobrang matatanda na wala na silang magawa. You need to communicate with them. You really need to communicate with them and tell them, Mommy, Daddy, I will set aside a certain amount of my money for you. No? Talagang itatabi ko yan on a monthly basis. Kaya lang, Mommy, Daddy, hanggang dito lang. Kasi I have a family, or I have a future family, or I'm building something. I'm gonna build my business. So what you're doing is you're setting boundaries. And I know that might be painful to hear, but with proper communication, hopefully they will understand na, okay, anak, hanggang dito lang si anak. Hanggang dito lang yung ibibigay niya kay mommy at daddy. And may boundary, may limitation. So hopefully the parents will hindi pa masyadong matatanda yung parents, still able-bodied, might try to find their own way to fend for their own needs and be able to, create income somewhere else para to respect the boundary that the children or the child is trying to establish. Yun lagi ang sinasabi ko sa mga anak na you help your parents. Of course, you help your parents. Kaya lang, set boundaries so that you can still save, you can still invest for your future. Para, ito rin Juancho, para your children will not go through what you are experiencing right now. So, pag ikaw tumanda, may pera ka. And you can actually tell your children, anak, may pera si daddy. May pera si mommy. Kaya, don't think of me. I was able to invest. I was able to save, and you don't have to think of my needs. Kaya lahat ng kita nyo, para sa pamilya mo yan, para sa anak mo yan.
That's beautiful and also easier said than done. I have encountered also friends that yun nga, dumadating talaga yung point na hindi talaga nila mapagsabihan. As in yung communication lacks. And that's something that Filipinos struggle with, yung communicating. More often than not, 'di ba, usually kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng problema, I'm also guilty on this sa family ko before. Kapag nagkakaroon ng problema, sweep under the rug. Wag na nating ipag-usapan, wag na nating confront. Usually, 'di ba? That's why it's a struggle. That's why kami, family ko, I'm trying to do my best with si Joyce and si Liam. Ngayon pa lang, lay down the foundation on we need to talk things out. Nang alam natin, we are 100% truthful sa mga emotions natin because we need to take care of that. We need to take care of each other. And be honest with each other, di ba? Yeah, it's tough. It really is. And it's also in the Bible, di ba? Na if you don't help out a friend in need ng basically life and death, it would be on you na hindi ka nag-help out. That's why hindi pa rin talaga natin may ka-cut off lang yung parents natin sa buhay. That's why it's tough.
Oh yeah. We still have to support. We just need to support wisely.
Okay, so Brother Bo, maraming salamat. This has been one of my pinaka-favorite na episode. Thank you for gracing us with your time, and sana makapag-catch up pa tayo more soon, and I can seek counsel from you sa ibang mga larangan katulad ng investing. So thank you so much.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Just call. We're always here. And God bless you and Joyce and your growing family. So beautiful.
Thank you, Brother Bo. This has been episode 6. Thanks, guys, for listening. Paalam!